Welcome to a new SEGA News Bits. I'm Barry, with me is George.
Hello everyone.
And this is our, we're here in person together talking about Sonic Mania. The Sonic 25th anniversary event just went down a few hours ago. We had hands-on we got to play the game. And so these are our hands-on first impressions. There are only a little over 1,000 other people who have maybe played the game. I feel like not everyone there played it.
No, I think a lot of people were like, oh, it's classic Sonic, and then
So, you're going to hear first impressions from around the internet, but not in many places, I hope. So first let's talk about the reveal of the game. So Aaron Weber took the stage.
Really hyped people up.
And then he brought up the video and it didn't work.
Yeah, I think that was on purpose too.
I don't know, the logo filled the screen. People were like, it's Sonic Mania, what is that? And then it minimized and it was like a presentation on a Mac.
Yeah.
And then they tried it again, you heard the audio, nothing. But then it happened and they played the trailer. And what I really liked was the way they edited the trailer together, because they really threw it in your face that this was Christian Whitehead, Taxman. This was Headcanon, who was Stealth. A third developer there, I don't know who that is.
I think it might have been the music person.
Maybe. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that alone speaks to a lot of the older fans who know who those people are.
Especially in the retro scene.
Exactly, yeah. And so, and then what I really like too is it said SEGA proudly presents.
That's my favorite part. When that came up, I was like, I haven't seen him say proudly presents in a very long time.
Yeah. So, the fact that they're proud of something says a lot.
Especially when they threw this big shindig for basically this game,
yeah. There was another one, which we'll talk about in another video, but, and then it just kind of kicked off. It was a lot of, quick cuts of, it looked like classic Sonic. It looked like a 32X Sonic game to a lot of people. You've seen the video, it's probably playing right now, but what did you think about it, George, when you first saw the video start up and we saw gameplay?
When we played it, or when we just saw the...
When we first saw it.
I thought it looked like a very, you could tell when you play in the Genesis, there's, lost animation between transitions, like Sonic moving or something, and this one, it was just, super smooth. It was actually kind of weird at first, it was kind of jarring, what?
Yeah.
How smooth it was at some points. But it looked nice. It looked great on the 1080p panels they had there.
Oh, yeah.
It just... Everything people wanted from a retro Sonic game, this is it right here.
Yeah.
All its pixel glory.
Yeah.
And I think it looks great. Some of the gimmicks actually, I think, work pretty well. And
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was looking at the animations, and like you said, it was like, in the old game, Sonic's standing still, and he just starts running. But this one, you actually see those in-betweens.
Yeah.
The sprite itself was basically the Sonic 1, Sonic 2 sprite, but he had more of three-dimensional Sonic 3 to him. That's what I felt. We heard from people who played the game who were thinking, let's stand still and see what the idle animation is. He still taps his foot, but then I heard he kind of does a little, getting ready to run pose, all right, let's go, which is a really cool touch. And I made it a point to try to do a lot of weird things in the game just to see if they either fixed things that bugged me in the past, or if they just added cool new things to the game. So you played, okay, so let's get to the demo, because people have seen the trailer, but the demo itself, it had two stages. It had Green Hill Zone.
And the second one, which I didn't remember the name.
It was called Studioopolis, was that it?
I think it was, I don't even remember, I just picked it and started playing.
Studioopolis, I think it was.
It's a very, purplish, machine-y looking stage.
It looked like, I didn't play Studioopolis, but I watched a lot of people play it. It looked like if you took Sonic CD and mashed it together with tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an interesting level. It was one of the new levels, obviously. It had some really cool stuff. I like the backgrounds were really nice on the stage. They really filled in the art.
Yeah.
Very. They had a little bit of gimmicks. Also, I really like that they brought back the energy shields.
Yeah.
Because they haven't used that in a long time.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And so you could do the fire, the water, I think the other one had electric and water on that level.
Okay.
And then there was little gimmicks, like when you go behind this panel, like sometimes you'll just see the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like I don't know, Kill Bill in the scene where he murders all those people.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's like these cool glass effects when you get destroyed glass, and then there was another part where like it kind of stood out to me. You go into the satellite dish and you turn into electricity and you beam across this like an area.
Right.
So instead of going into a pipe and just spinning out of control and going somewhere,
yeah, there were
chemical plant zone like that.
Yeah, there were a lot of Sega references too in that stage. There was the Hornet, which was a truck that would turn you into the satellite like electricity. There was the Streets of Rage, the signs that you would see in the background.
Yeah.
What was it, Pine Pot or something like
something
that?
Like that,
yeah. But they would do it a little like a Sonic twist. There was the Club Sega in the background, but it was again like a Sonic twist, and it said Ages under it. What else was there? There was no boss on that one though, right?
No boss. You beat Act 1 and it was over, and then they made you go back in line if you wanted to play it again.
Yeah, right. So that's why we decided that you'd play the Studioopolis. I'd play Green Hill. A lot of people weren't picking Green Hill because I think they were like, well, it's Green Hill. I've played this before.
But before we get to that one thing I noticed, like, with electric, that also, if you see the trailer, the main menu, when you press start, Sonic goes from electric to that thing. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing in this game where it's like something to do with electric, or that's just me putting two and two together that don't really piece together. Yeah,
that could be interesting. I mean, yeah, when the title screen starts up, you see the whole little Sonic, the circle with the little banner. It appears in electricity, and then Sonic appears, and he does this insane, like, super hyper animated spin.
Yeah, and it's almost like, as I said, it's a little jarring because you're always expecting just like very, I'm doing it in person.
Waving your finger.
Yeah, waving my finger like Sonic does, he just doesn't move that much, and this one is very hyper animated.
How could I explain it? It's like the Hobbit movies in 48 frames per second.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, this is kind of weird. Or you're just watching like a British TV or a soap opera. It's like the amount of frames that are being thrown at you is something you're not used to.
Yeah, and so you talked to them about Green Hill Zone.
So Green Hill Zone, they said in the trailer that there would be like revisited stages, and this was exactly that. It kicks off, it's Green Hill Zone, but you have the new Sonic sprite, so he's got all the extra animations. When he looks up, it's very cartoonish, very cute. But yeah, you go through, it seems a little normal, but then you start to catch on that there's a lot more depth to, not depth, but I guess I'd say depth in the sense of you can go down into the level a lot more.
They added more.
Yeah, and so I remember, there's those like kind of two paths, and Green Hill Zone Act 1 is very, very simple on Sonic 1, and so the fact that you go down, and I was like, well, let's see how far I could go down. So I kept going down, and there was another path. I go down, there was another path. And so it's compared to the Studioopolis one, it's not like hitting you over the head like, what am I trying to think of? Sonic Generations, when you played as 2D Sonic.
Yeah.
It started off as Green Hill, and then it got kind of wild. Like, you'd go under in these caves and stuff. This one doesn't go as crazy, but it does present new paths, which you're not used to. All the enemies were the same. There were, and I feel like a novice in not knowing this, but do you remember in Knuckles Chaotix, they had the gold rings, but then they had like the gray rings?
Yeah.
What do those do?
I have no idea.
Well, while we're talking, I'm actually going to look that up because I want to know.
You guys also talked about the last boss in the thing. This one actually did have a boss.
Right. And so if you wanted to actually experience one of the new bosses, they had that in the Green Hill one. It basically kicked off with these two little balls coming in, and I actually recorded some footage that we can show of this. And the pendulum ball would go, but the thing is that one would be gray, and you could attack the gray one, and one would be red, and you have to steer clear of that. So sometimes the one up top would be red, and the gray one below you could attack, so you could actually attack the pendulum. But then if you killed one, then the other one would kind of do a weird, like, it would bounce around and be red, and then it would stop being red and it would turn gray, and you could attack it. If you've played the new boss that was in Sonic 2 Remastered in the Hidden Palace Zone.
Yeah, Hidden Palace. The infamous Hidden Palace.
Right, yeah, you get kind of a sample of what Christian, Whitehead, and Stealth's bosses are like. And so they're not very, very easy, but they're easy if you kind of catch on to what their weak points are. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, I feel like a lot of the early Sonic bosses were actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel like they put a lot more thought into the boss, and it was, assuming one of the early stages, it was still pretty hard.
I agree.
So, but there was no sign of Eggman outside of the spinning signpost.
And in this level that I played, there was an Eggman chair that you could stand on top and they would lift you up. So there was that too.
Oh, and there was also an old-timey, like, Eggman cartoon.
Yeah.
In some screens. And then there was also a big building that said Eggnog.
But he wasn't in the game himself.
No. And then, I'm trying to think what some other ones were. The gray rings, I just wanted to say, they power-sapped rings. So they sap your power, I think. Yeah.
Steer clear.
Yeah, I guess so. But in any case, it's very second nature to play a Sonic game. So when I picked this up, it didn't feel foreign to me like Sonic 4 did. I didn't feel like, like the physics were off. It was Sonic physics.
It was like, it's hard to describe. It's like smoother, I guess, in some points. And sometimes, like, even the classic games had some moments where you're like, well, that wasn't working correct like it should.
Right.
I didn't feel that way in this game. I felt like everything was on point. Mm-hmm. And it's also felt great playing on the gamepad because these guys put a lot of effort into their ports of the 2 and 1. Yeah. And they got stuck in mobile.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it's great that Sonic Team basically allowed them to make a classic Sonic game. This is really all of their project. I'm sure that Sonic Team's consulting and such, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've done all the work and it's pretty much Sonic Team just like giving the thumbs up, thumbs down on some concepts.
So for what we played, the stage I played and Barry played, I don't know how Barry feels, but I feel like pretty excited about this game. I'm not too excited about the title. Sonic Mania is not a great title, I think, for the game. But besides that, it looks like it's going to be fantastic. I might as well add this in the video. I talked to one of the SEGA reps, and I asked him, is this going to be a box game or a digital game? And he told me that he didn't know, and then he went and talked to somebody about it. And then he came back and didn't tell me anything, and I'm like, well, so what is it? And then he goes, it's going to be a digital game, but we might make it boxed as well. So it's going to be a budget title, obviously. And it might have a box version. I don't know. I guess it depends on fan feedback on that one.
Right. Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, what was that called? They both had boxes.
Yeah.
So it could happen. I think it should happen. I think they should do one of those. What would be really cool is if they did I don't want like a super deluxe edition, but if they did an art book.
It's like just put it up $30, or like even like Shovel Knight got a package release for $20. You get it physically. Yeah. Not bad.
So I guess I'd say I'm very excited for this. It's like finding an unearthed, long lost, missing like 32X Sonic game. I feel. Yeah. But the music was great too.
Yep, we got to listen to it on headphones, but it's kind of hard because Crush 40 was playing right next to us.
Yeah, but from what I heard, it's not like the like Sonic 4 music, and it's not trying to be Genesis sounding. A little bit, but it's
influenced.
Yeah, for sure. I guess if you think Sonic CD, they never were like, oh, let's make this sound like Sega Genesis. When they had the ability to make it better. They did. Yeah, and I feel like they did that with this. So, yeah, if you were hoping that there would be a Sonic 4 Episode 3, yeah, you were aiming pretty low with your expectations, because this blows those out of the water, for sure.
I agree. Let us know what you guys think about this game. Are you guys excited? Are you guys happy that Taxman is back?
Yeah, and Stealth.
Yeah, Stealth's back too.
Yeah. If you'd like more Sega news, check us out at SEGAbits.com. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our social networks.